power. So I have the pleasure right now of introducing the first speaker tonight, and that's the Reverend Carla McClellan, Reverend Coach Carla. And she's helped hundreds of people over the last 20 years. She's an ordained unity minister. She's certified life Enneagram coach and a compelling speaker, which we'll hear. Carla's teachings center on spiritual principles and awakening people to who they truly are and tapping into their deepest potential. She believes there is a set of guidelines and practices and principles that unlock the happiness and success each person desires. Carla uses coaching and teaching models, and I guess a little prayer in there, a little bit, at that center on helping clients realize their own answers. Funny, energetic, and passionate about life, Carla is here to move you past your stuckness through deep listening and asking you powerful questions. She firmly believes everyone comes home to themselves by vulnerably knowing themselves first, and then taking courageous action. They're getting at it at that point. Anything is possible when we open ourselves to the spirit within us. Carla loves supporting churches and ministers moving forward through the uncertainty of the material world. She is a coach, a consultant, and transitional specialist with Unity Worldwide Ministries. She has been in Unity for over 50 plus years. Shh. No, we want every year, every day. That's exactly right. And she was blessed with having both parents. Must have been really cool to be Unity ministers. Put your hands together for Reverend Carla.
Hello, friends. You heard a little bit about what my passions are, but my life purpose really is working with people and churches, ministers going through transitions. Would it be okay with you if life got easier? I know for me, as a minister, when I first started out, that was important for me to recognize that I was making it harder than it needed to be. Reverend Dale over there helped me start out at my first ministry. In fact, he was in an SEE class the first time I met him. And he's been my angel ever since. Reverend Christy, I just adore and love her family. I love being a part of it. Let's see, Reverend Ricky and Martha Creek. Martha, I always got to get a blow to you in order to shift my consciousness. I'm telling you, you know what did it? It really does. It really does. So growing up with Unity ministers was really interesting. You know, and people say, oh, how blessed you were. It's still a family system dynamic, you know. One of the things I noticed about New Thought was they were really good at the capital T truth, the principles that made life practical. But they weren't so hot on telling the little t truth, the facts, kind of muffed over those, you know. Why would we want to bring that up? That's negative. So when people say, oh, I don't do denials because that brings up the negative, I go, you're missing the whole point. You're missing the whole point of what this movement is all about. It's ancient wisdom and you catching a new thought about it. So when I started at Unity of Independence. When I first started, first 6 months of my ministry, real quick, my mother died. My brother Mark died 4 months later. And my daughter Paula died 2 months after that at 27. My first 6 months of ministry. What's the game plan here, God? I need some coaching. What's going on here? And I heard my dad's voice in my ear say, prove the principles or don't use them anymore. Okay, Daddy, All right, so you think I have enough resilience to stand here in front of people and preach what I believe is the truth and go through this absolute horrific experience of my worst fear of losing a child. And my life has never been the same. So with them, I wondered, well, what's my ministry going to be? You know, I got what theirs was. My mother was a teacher, and she was an interim minister. So I was bred for this position of transitional ministry. And my dad ran World Unity retreats. And so there were pretty powerful people in unity back in their day. What I realized my ministry was being authentically present to it all. The good, the not so good, the scary, and that we have a way through if we remember three things. If you take nothing else from my talk, take these three things. Dare to be brave. Nothing is ever transformed by being safe or comfortable. There's no spiritual literature that'll say, oh no, you're to stay in your chair and you're just to pray. Now you pray and you move your feet. You act from your core beliefs. So dare to be brave. Laugh loudly. Right, Martha? Let's belly laugh because our body needs it. We need to laugh more than ever. In the chaos, in the uncertainty, in the pressures of standing as a non-anxious presence in front of congregations that want to know, what are you going to do for me now? What are you going to do for me? So, the last thing that I say is to love lavishly. This world needs lavish love. Don't you agree? If we follow the path of love, then we dare to be brave because we're from our heart, our courageous heart. We can still be afraid, but dare to be brave. So I'm going to quote a poem here that's been a touchstone of mine for a long time that'll be very familiar to you all. There is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer. No disease that enough love will not heal. No door that enough love will not open. No gulf that enough love will not bridge. No wall that enough love will not throw down. No sin that enough love will not redeem. It makes no difference how deeply seated may be the trouble, how hopeless the outlook, how muddled the tangle, how great the mistake. A sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. If only you could love enough, you would be the happiest and most powerful being in the world. Thank you, Emmett Fox, for that. I read that poem when I was a teenager, and that was a touchstone for me moving forward. So in this whole time of starting ministry, wondering what is my ministry, allowing it to grow me into what I longed to be known for. I long to be loved in action. I love to love lavishly, without condition. Doesn't mean I love being a doormat. Doesn't mean that at all. But it means that I can always behold the Christ first in myself. I can get there. Thank you, Martha Creek, for speaking truth for these years. That we can acknowledge the fact that we don't have enough money. Doesn't mean we're lacking. We don't have enough money to pay ministers maybe what they're worth or even a living wage. But we're not up there. We're going to find a way through. We're going to do what beautiful Jerry's done in San Diego. We're going to do the impossible. And I know Reverend Randy Fricke is doing it for here, Kansas City. And I'm so amazed and impressed with his courage in standing forth, in going through what he had to go through to get ordained, baby. We don't make it easy for the great ones. We don't make it easy. So just know how great you are. So when I was asked to do this on love, I thought, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I'm in Venice, Florida right now, and so I get to come home and go to this conference and talk about my favorite subject, which is love. And guess what happened? Life. Life happened. 2 weeks before I came, my daughter was diagnosed with cancer, my surviving daughter. And so I thought, all right, we're going to revisit this, but I'm going to do it differently than I did it the first time. I'm going to stand in unshakable faith with my daughter as we go through this. And I'm going to invite every congregation I stand before to join me in prayer and knowing nothing limits her wholeness. And she is strong enough and courageous enough and compassionate enough to make it through whatever they say is hers to do. So Monday, she goes through surgery, and we go see the oncologist tomorrow. And I'm so grateful that I'm a part of a transformational movement that lets me know no matter what the circumstance, no matter what the condition is, there is a way through. And that way through is going to be brave, laughing, because your body needs you to laugh and open up and surrender, right? Music does that so beautifully for us, but so does laughter. It's why Martha Cree can get away with saying the things she does. I'm picking on you, Martha. Amen, baby. Amen. I'm not shutting up now. So we are here to bring it. We are the ones, definitely, because we're here. We're here, and we're not here to be quiet. We're not here to hide who we are. We're not here to be safe and comfortable. We're here to risk it all in the name of love. God is love. Love heals all things, Emmett Fox says so beautifully. In his spiritual approach, love is not just an emotion. It's a healing power. It is a divine force. A way of seeing beyond fear, resentment, illness, separation, and lack. For often when we shift from judgment, anxiety, and grievance into love, we open the way for healing, don't we? You can just feel it. You can just feel your heart open. So love heals what fear has wounded. It restores what anger has hardened. It opens what pain has closed. It reminds us that nothing real can be separated from God. Not because love ignores pain, but because love transforms pain. Not because love denies difficulty, but because love meets it with the presence of God. Where love is invited, healing begins. And after about 35 texts from Unity of Venice today, I am so glad I'm here talking about loving lavishly, because I'm going to go home and pour it all over them. Churches we're struggling with the uncertainty, when the chaos. What's next? What's now? Presence is now. When we are present to what is happening, what is going on around us, when we're authentically present and not just flapping our jaws, when we're in the stream of life fully, amazing things begin to happen. What if love was never meant to be measured? Remember when we're young and we envisioned Prince Charming, or maybe I did back in the Stone Ages before, right when I got out of the cave. We would imagine what Prince Charming would do for us, and then we woke up. Wait a minute. What can I do to be more loving? What can I do so people want to love me? What can I do to be more accepted? What can I say that will bless and heal? What can I deeply listen to in the darkness of somebody's soul growth to know that they will find that light switch, but I can have their back while they're searching for it. And it is a privilege and an honor to be able to walk with people through the darkness of our soul transitions. Because don't you find you don't just do it once? I don't know, maybe you guys are lucky and you can just do it once. It hasn't been my experience, but each time I feel like I've been cracked open, more light has been revealed, and I can love myself just a little bit more. I thought I had to be courageous for everybody, that send me, God, send me. And then I realized I'm pretty short. And there's a lot of stuff people can pile on your shoulders. And my head was bleeding from hitting that brick wall. And I thought, there's got to be another way. There's got to be another way to talk about our principles rather than some, new thought speak. You get what I'm saying, don't you? Some way to touch people's hearts so they awaken to something more than what they're experiencing. And what about if there was a little relief in there? What about if we could laugh a bit? I have faced the hardest times in my life with laughter. My mother had a wicked sense of humor. My dad did too, but my mother said, "You know the greatest thing about dying?" And I said, "Oh, Mom, what's the greatest thing about dying?" "You can eat what you want and you still lose weight." Talk about a theme throughout life. My daughter Paula ended up towards the end of her life in a wheelchair. So she put on the back of her wheelchair, "Walking is overrated." I love that sense of humor that opens us to greater possibilities. That's what your music does for us. Where's Jesse? You're back there. That was simply beautiful, Jesse. You were right to chastise me for not being at church Sunday. But we're in it together to love lavishly, to show people, not just talk at them or even with them, but to model for them what it's like to be defenseless. My gosh, isn't that a big, big challenge? I think about what I'm going back down to in Venice. I go, really? Why me, Lord? I got a lovely husband. I've got a lovely home. I'm less than 3 miles from Unity Village. What the heck am I doing out preaching that it can be easier? Allowing people to know that love is the way, not hate. We can be on other sides of any issue we want to talk about. But if we've got a common vision, a common goal, something that we're working together towards, we can overcome all that crap. And it is crap. And it is inundating us all the time. So, are you ready to stand in unshakable faith? Are you ready to dare to be brave? Are you ready to laugh loudly? Let's do it together. Right here, right now, from your belly. I want you to laugh. Ha, 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 ha. Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Yes, yes, yes. That's what I'm talking about. Bring it on. I'm showing up. And I'm going to love lavishly, because that is the way through. And in closing tonight, I wanted to read something from Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founder. As we get ready to face Mother's Day, I thought this was a perfect quote. "It is my great joy to perceive somewhat of the mother side of God, the divine love that never fails, and that is equal to the drawing of souls to itself. It is my prayer to be able to radiate the qualities of this divine love to all. You too are the mother of unity. Because in your heart you have the same ideals, the same great generous spirit, and the endless and tireless service, and the love that never fails. The mother of unity is the universal mother. How happy we are to represent this mother, all of us. Thank you very much.